Well, our next guest is a singer-songwriter who was raised on a Texas ranch, and his connection to the Western lifestyle has played a big role in his music, which can be heard on his upcoming two-part album titled Honkiest of Tonkers. Welcome to the program, Garrett Bradford. I love that title. I can't wait to hear this music.
Thanks so much for having me on, Suzanne. You know, when I picked the title, I wanted it to be something. There's so much music made nowadays, and I feel like the hardest thing to do is stick out, you know, just to get people to notice you. So when I was trying to decide what the title track would be, I thought that would be a pretty good one.
You know, speaking of sticking out, I think being your authentic self. I mean, you know, you and I were talking in the green room. People often say, what do you love about country music? I said, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. And you are that. You grew up on a ranch, right?
Yes,
running cattle in Weatherford, Texas, and kind of doing music at the same time?
Yeah, but yeah, I grew up, that was my whole world. I mean, cutting horses and cows and everything like that. What my parents did, we raised bucking stock too, bucking bulls and bucking broncs. And I was introduced to the music at a pretty young age through a friend of ours named Dan Roberts, and then singing in children's choir at First Baptist Church in Weatherford. And it just slowly kind of developed over the years. I mean, it was something I loved as soon as I found it. But I didn't really think about it as something I could do for a living. It was just more of a cool hobby. I figured I would just do what my dad did, you know, and take over the horse sale company or farm or something like that. But I guess the Lord had different plans because things have happened since then.
Absolutely. So. By the way, I know all of Weatherford watching right now. We got to say hi to your mom, Mary, and the whole Bradford family.
Yes.
So what a great son you have here, Mary, by the way. I know your mom is in the cutting horse.
Yes, ma'am. My mom shows cutting horses, and my whole family's been involved in that my whole life growing up. And my dad owned a horse sale company called Western Bloodstock that does all of their horse sales up there at the NCHA aged events. So all the cutting horse people, I love them to death. They've been good to me.
They're good people for sure. Like I said, you and I were talking about getting the opportunity for myself to go ahead into those events. I want to talk about you touring the Texas circuit. Is that really where you kind of cut your teeth around there? I mean, Texans know what's authentic.
Yeah,
that's a good place to do
so.
It.
Yeah, I mean, we might mention it later, but I had a song on Yellowstone on the TV show, and that came through meeting Taylor Sheridan doing some work on his ranch there in Weatherford when he moved there.
I think you just dropped a name, by the way.
I did. Let me pick it up. That's a good one to drop, I've learned, especially around Nashville. But so after I kind of got that going, it was during the middle of COVID, and that opened the doors for me as far as my career and getting to play places and really started doing a lot of acoustic stuff because my song that was on the show is an acoustic song. And now just starting to get back into the full band thing. And I'm trying to book shows right now. So if you're in Texas and you need a musician, I'm the guy to call.
That's the guy. How'd you meet Taylor Sheridan? Talk a little bit about this.
So he hired me to do some land clearing on his ranch in Weatherford. I guess it would have been around 2020. And we struck up a conversation and kind of hit it off after I got done working that day. And he'd start inviting me over for dinner because I didn't live very far from their place. And he figured out I played music, had me bring my guitar. And he was probably the biggest part in helping me to take this seriously and like really pursue it at a high level. Just somebody of his that's had his success in the entertainment business encouraging me. And I remember one time he said, you know, you really love this and it's your passion, and you don't want to sit on your deathbed one day and think back and think, wow, I wish I would have pursued it. Yeah. And that sticks out in my memory a lot. So it was really a cool experience. It was one of those kind of God things. I mean, for him to hire me to clear some land, and then eventually 3 years later having a song on the show was just really neat.
Well, he knows authenticity, and that's what he's all about. He's writing pretty much everything that we're watching right now. So do you send him your music and go, hey, I got a lot more of that came
That's
from?
Right. I send him stuff all the time. I'm always writing songs and sending them to him. And he's a cool guy because he doesn't just tell you everything's good. I mean, he's definitely critical, but in a good way, you know. And that's one of the reasons why I was so excited when he did decide to use one of my songs on the show, because he even told me, he said, I'm not just doing this because you're my friend. I'm doing this because the song fits the show.
Honkiest of Tonkers. We got part 1 coming out this Friday, part 2 coming out in April. Why separate them?
Well, I wanted to give it kind of a little more time. There was a lot of songs on the record at first. I was just going to do one part. And I wanted to kind of spread them out a little bit and give the songs a little more time to marinate in between and give myself more time to promote them, because I'm just an up-and-coming artist. I don't have that name recognition and things, so I'm trying to break into all the different places.
Well, real country stuff, and I gotta say, shout out to you. I have not heard an authentic country trucker song in such a long time, but Peterbilt Pipe Dream. Truckers, y'all are gonna love that one. It's so good, so nice to meet you.
Thank
Come back,
you.
will you?
I would love to come back. Thank you so much,
All right.
Suzanne.
Thank you. Garrett Bradford, everybody.